Hi there. Welcome to the Finley Formation. This is Brandon.
This Gage?
And this is Jared.
Okay, as you can see, we're festive here. It's our Christmas episode. I think we're just 2 days out from Christmas now, so it's right around the corner. You
Yeah.
guys all ready for it? I know you're not.
No, 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 not ready at all. Especially since I have to work it. But
Yeah.
I mean, double time's pretty nice.
Yeah, with three little kids or three kids, 10 and under, it's kind of busy this time of year.
Yeah,
It's
that's
pretty
fun,
pretty
though.
chaotic. It is
Heck
fun,
yeah.
yes.
Are they all excited?
They are, yeah.
Hell yeah.
They got it's kind of fun to bring back like the Christmas spirit and everything like that and all the fun stuff. And now the new thing is I don't know if you ever did it or it's too new for you, but like the elf on the shelf
Yeah.
type of thing, that kind of becomes a little bit of a
You guys doing that?
we are, yeah. That's
Oh,
pretty
Too
nice.
fun.
new for me. That was almost too old for me,
Oh, were
man.
you? But that's
No,
fun to
we
do.
never
It's-
really messed with the elf on the
We
shelf.
never really did it, but
Right.
a lot of people my age did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like 94 or something when that started, though?
I don't know.
I don't remember it as
Yeah, I
a
don't
kid.
remember it when we were young. So what is the premise of the elf on the shelf anyway? Like,
They just do crazy things like every night, or they're in a different spot, and
moving
the,
around
the
and
kids
hiding.
are pretty excited to see what they've kind of got into, or kind of stuff that they've left for them, and it's pretty fun.
See
I
that?
like
Maybe we
it.
should start, now that we're all adults, start doing dirty elf on the shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
so-
like two of them and put them in different positions every day and
Yeah,
stuff.
no, that's what I was about to say. That makes more sense because I seen the one where it was like, "Oh, Elf on a Shelf is up to some
Right.
shenanigans now," and it had that Barbie on the
Oh
mixer
yeah.
spinning
Yeah.
around like a dance ball.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I miss the kids being young, man. I can't wait till these guys actually get some girlfriends and get some grandkids for
There
me.
we go.
'cause
Heck yeah.
We don't even have like nieces and nephews that are young right
Yeah.
now, so they're all pretty much, it's still fun, but it's not the same as when the
Right.
kids were young. So
Got a
That's cool.
grandpuppy.
yeah, we got dogs.
We got fur babies.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, that's cool, man. Young kids. Did you decorate the house up?
Yeah, because we got two Christmas trees. We got the one upstairs and the one downstairs. The one downstairs is more. It's more like downstairs is more like the more Christmassy decorated area, and upstairs we got the Christmas tree, and then we got some other stuff. But
Cool.
downstairs is the designated Christmas area for the most part.
Oh, right on.
Because you're not leaving a mess everywhere for
Yeah.
everybody to see. If you
Heck
leave
yeah.
a mess down there, it's
Right.
kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Right. Did
Yeah,
you
we
go
used to do that a
Griswold on
little
the
bit.
house?
What's that?
Did you go Griswold on the outside of the house?
No, so it's kind of funny. A couple years ago, the people that go around and put your Christmas lights up.
Mhm.
So I got really high peaks up on like my garages. I was like, there ain't no way I'm getting up there and putting Christmas lights up
Yeah.
and falling off. So we pay this company that comes in and does it every year. They do it for $170. So they take
cool.
them down, store them all season besides Christmas, and then they'll come put them up every November. So
I know. I
Not a
think
bad
you're
deal.
handling it wrong. His dad, my grandpa, he retired early because he got up on a roof.
I do remember that. Yes, I do remember old Gerald.
Yeah, he decided to jump off the roof, and but that was during the summer. That wasn't even putting up Christmas
I know,
lights. He
right?
was
So it's
cutting
like-
branches off. But yeah, I ended up putting up some lights this year. I think I went 2 years without it, and I was like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna try to get some lights up. Did okay outside, I think, but yeah. I'm
Guess
no
I forget
Grinch.
with,
I like Christmas. I
I
just
do, yeah.
haven't done the last couple of years. so.
Yeah, guess I forget with all your gray and your beard, you're not actually that old
I'm
yet.
not-
where
yeah,
you
I'm-
can't jump
I'm
off the
still-
roof and retire from it.
Maybe I could. That'd be all right to
Mm.
retire at 40. That would be all right.
Yeah,
So yeah, we got football on Christmas this year. I don't remember if it was last year. I don't know if it's just because it's Thursday.
Mhm.
But it's kind of, we were talking right before me and Gage, where it's kind of shitty that it's the Cowboys and Lions again, which
Yeah.
I'm sure when they looked at that schedule ahead of time, those were probably really good prime games this late in the season. But ended up being pretty much maybe one game might have some meaning to it,
Mhm.
but
and it's not the
Still.
Cowboys, and it's kind of the Lions one. Cowboys one doesn't matter.
yeah,
Lions one has so meaning to it. I mean, it's Broncos. Yeah, I mean, none of them really do.
yep,
All three games have at least one team eliminated already. So
yeah,
It's like you said, probably right when the schedule was coming out when they made this, it was kind of like, man, we got some pretty good divisional matchups towards the end of the year, maybe some playoff indications, and
yeah,
it's not looking like that. You'll get into it later when we do our pick'ems, but the spreads are pretty generous.
pretty
in
wild.
these games, yeah.
Heck yeah. All right, but before we get into all of the football stuff from last week, we do have a comment/question from Kel again. Appreciate you sending in another one. We'd like to hear more from everybody. That'd be cool. So we have, I think the Steelers got a big win this week. Their run game was great, and they are playing good ball. I think they will do some damage in the playoffs with a good run game that will travel and help in cold weather games. I'm predicting that they make it to the AFC Championship game, and Tomlin keeps his job despite what Gage says. And he says, "What do you think?"
Maybe we'll let Gage go on this one first.
Yeah,
Since
Yeah.
it was kind of
a little
I don't know.
pointed.
I think, I mean, they're gonna make it probably unless they do some crazy
To the
stuff happens.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not clinched yet. But they got a 91% chance they'll probably make it. But I mean, since Big Ben, it's been wild card loss after wild card loss, and I mean, I think probably just another wild card loss for him. And I think he should be fired even with the playoff berth and wild card loss because that's all he's been able to do since Big Ben. So
Yeah, you're looking at the standings right now, and it's if they win it. So if they make it to the playoffs, they're obviously going to be the fourth seed. And so now we're kind of battling out between the fifth and sixth seed, between the Chargers and the Bills. So it's going to be a tough, probably first round matchup for them anyway. Whether the Chargers have to go there or the Bills have to go there. So, but we've talked about it all season about how wide open the NFL is, especially with Baltimore probably not going to make it, the Chiefs not going to make it. It's pretty much like a crapshoot.
Yeah.
AFC. So I wouldn't be surprised if they made it. I'd be more surprised if they made it to the championship game. I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to like the divisional round,
Right.
getting a first round win. It's just so wide open this year. You kind of trust Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback and the veteran kind of leadership. We kind of saw it last night with Phillip Rivers coming in, just the experience that he has and getting people in the right spots and making the right decisions. And it's just, I saw that earlier when the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Minnesota Vikings. I made the comment of, Aaron Rodgers is the perfect quarterback to kind of beat this Brian Flores defense because you're not going to trick him.
Mhm.
And whether he can kind of dink and dunk or find the, underneath stuff pretty easily.
Right.
Like, I trust Aaron Rodgers to win at least a wild card game, but maybe not going too much farther
Right.
after that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at like the teams that look like they're going to be in there. It kind of does look like the Texans are going to make their way in. Jaguars, I think they're definitely in. I mean, you got these teams. I think the Jaguars even clinched
Mhm.
with that loss.
yeah, they're
to
sitting
the
in the third
Colts.
seed right now.
Yeah. So I mean, you got these teams that are going to make it. The one thing that they kind of separate themselves a little bit from the Steelers to me is the fact that they've all gone on like some runs, of putting multiple games together. I think even the Jaguars put 7 together now,
Mhm.
6 or 7. The Texans had to come, and I think they ran 5 or 6 together, maybe a little bit more than that even. And the one thing the Steelers haven't been is consistent, and so I think that's the only thing that I would say that I think they're going to be in the playoffs only because the AFC North is terrible.
Mhm.
And but yeah, I don't see them making it very far in the playoffs. I do like his comment about their run game. They have been running the ball really well, but the Lions really haven't been great on defense all season. They're kind of falling apart altogether. So I mean, yeah, you still got to get it done against NFL teams. I understand that, but I don't see them being able to, I guess, keep it together through the playoffs, especially considering they're going to have to go from wild card all the way to the AFC Championship.
Mhm.
I don't see it happening. I don't like them to go that far. I do, like I said, they're going to make the playoffs, but I think it's one and done. Like Gage said, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at it, and you brought up experience stuff like that, and they're a guaranteed matchup now. If they make it in this fourth seed, it's either Justin Herbert and the Chargers, who's vet in the league, or reigning MVP Josh Allen.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, if they weren't the fourth seed and they were the lower seed, where it's Patriots or Jags, it's like the Jags, they have Trevor Lawrence, but he's not. I wouldn't have him over Herbert, and of course, nobody's taking him over Allen.
Right.
And then, I mean, Broncos, of course, can get the bye, but even Bo Nix, I'd feel more comfortable with Steelers and Aaron Rodgers taking down Broncos than
Yeah.
Allen or the Chargers. So
Yeah, and it's crazy because the Bills have been pretty, I guess, kind of inconsistent. But you look at like when you mentioned the Chargers, they're a sneaky 11-4, and that's crazy. I didn't think they had that
Right.
great of a record, but they are. They just put together wins too. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Steelers would even be in the playoffs if they weren't in a terrible division. So Yeah, I guess kind of answered that one. And there was a comment from a couple weeks ago that about 19 days ago, and I'm just going to give him a shout out here because we kind of didn't notice it, but it was from Luke. This is a couple weeks ago. It says, I agree it's a QB MVP league. If you guys remember that conversation we had about that. But Miles, not if, but when he surpasses Strahan for sack leader, deserves it. Him or Taylor finish, or if Taylor finishes strong as a running back. So I think we kind of seen Taylor kind of go to the wayside on the MVP talk, in my opinion. If he's not going to get 2,000 yards, and we know they're not going to give it because they didn't do it last year. So what do you guys think about Miles Garrett getting the MVP, especially if he breaks the sack record?
Was he's at 22 right now, and the record's 22 and a half.
Right.
I think we talked about it a few weeks ago that if he like was on the verge of like the 26, 27, I guess he could probably still get there with 2 games left if he has another 4 and 5 sack games. But I think that what makes it hard for Garrett is he plays on the Cleveland Browns, who are bottom dwellers every year, and they're just never going to give it to a team or a person that's not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, he'll definitely win Defensive Player of the Year, but I think he needs to be closer to like 27, 28 to be in that conversation. I think if he beats it by like 2 or 3, it's going to be like cool story, but
Right.
you play on the Browns, who aren't gonna make the playoffs.
Who quite possibly will only
Right.
have 3 wins.
Like I said, the only way I think he could be in that conversation is if he was closer to 30, to where it's just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like we got to have him in the conversation.
Yeah, being realistic, because I like, your approach to it. Like, we might say, yeah, he deserves
Mhm.
it and we like it, but him to actually get it, I think he should.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily like you said. He's not going to get. Well, can't say he's not going to get 2,000 because 500 yards. We were talking week 8, week 9, he can get 500 yards. Jonathan Taylor,
Oh, okay,
but
gotcha.
he's still sitting at 17 touchdowns if he
Mm-hmm.
has 2 big games, and that's 17 on the ground. I think he has a couple through the air too. He could be looking at a 23 touchdown year.
Okay, so you're
Like,
saying he
I think-
still should be alive, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think if you finish with 24 touchdowns as a running back, I think
Mhm.
you should be in the conversations for MVP still,
Okay, I agree with that too, I guess.
Yeah.
especially when Daniel Jones is your quarterback.
And now,
Now
Phillip
Phillip
Rivers.
Rivers,
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that kind of plays into the Steelers talk too, because the Steelers play the Browns this week.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, Rodgers isn't exactly the mobile guy, that he once was, and he was never really super mobile. So, yeah, I mean, those sacks could come against him too.
This
He can
is
get a couple.
I just thought about this since you brought that up, but wasn't Aaron Rodgers the quarterback that took the dive for Strahan to tie the record?
No, that was Favre.
Oh, was it Favre? Okay.
Yep, that was Brett.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it was definitely kind of in the same lineage
Right.
a little bit.
Okay.
But okay, yeah, thanks for the questions, guys. That's awesome. Sorry we missed yours and didn't read it out earlier, Luke. But yeah, we appreciate it. Keep them coming. That's awesome. Gives us a little something different to talk about too. So, yeah, going in from last week, I think right off the bat, Thursday night. Normally, doesn't feel like we're getting a lot of good games on Thursday night, but that Hawks Rams game to me was possibly game of the year. That was a huge game that had a lot of meaning to it, and what a fun comeback for the Seahawks to come back and beat the Rams too. And us as Niners fans, we needed that.
Right.
Didn't expect it, but it was hell of a comeback. And they said at the time that the Seahawks were 0 and 172 when down by 15 points
Mhm.
in the 15 points or more in the fourth quarter,
Yeah,
and they ended up getting that win. So that's crazy.
Yeah, I think earlier when we were talking, or earlier in the season, it was the Bills and Ravens in Week 1 we were talking about. And this kind of had the similar feel where, the Rams were in control. They had a big lead in the fourth quarter. It kind of seemed like they were in cruise control. Then all of a sudden, you get that punt return for a touchdown, and it kind of seemed like a shift because the Rams really couldn't move the ball after that. They had that pretty decent drive where they ended up missing a field goal. But yeah, like you said, this late in the season, number 1 seed, even the division on the line for the Seahawks to come back and win that game in overtime. Pretty exciting. Like you said, we don't get a lot of these games on Thursday night, so
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of refreshing to start the week off this way.
Heck yeah.
yeah, for sure. It was a lot of fun. I ain't got much more to add, so
Okay.
that one.
Right on. Yeah, I think going into the weekend, did you guys really like the Bears win over the Packers? Did that kind of make them more legit to you guys? It seemed like a big win, and they actually were able to pull it together. Because I still, we've been talking about it for weeks now that this, like even the top teams, they're just kind of trading out, and the Bears are one of those teams you don't really trust. You know, seemed like a pretty big win against the Packers. I mean, it was a big win, but it seemed like they actually, were able to struggle and come back and go into overtime, get a
It
win.
didn't change anything for me. I mean, that's been their MO this year's the comeback wins. Like they said, it's like his it's the Bears like seventh straight comeback win in the fourth quarter. Um, and the Panthers are one of those top teams that I can't trust.
Packers.
Anyways, Packers, yeah, they're a top team I can't trust anyway. So
Mhm.
I don't think beating a team you can't trust is going to gain my trust. I mean,
Okay.
I've got a team that lost to the Panthers back when we thought they weren't playoff bound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what Gage said. I was going to say the exact same thing about the Bears. I mean, the one positive thing you can say about them is they're winning close games, so they're kind of battle tested.
Mhm.
It would be a little bit more worrisome if they kept on losing these close games, but they find a way to win them. They looked like they were dead in the water in the fourth quarter. They had only managed 6 points, and I think it was like 2 drives or pretty much 3 drives where they kind of scored back to back to back, and then the one in the overtime. So, I mean, if they can keep games close, I think they got the right formula because they keep on winning these close games. But it would almost be worrisome to be a Bears fan because they are close, and a lot of these games are just coin flips to where they could easily be probably 7-9 right now rather than
Right.
11-4. So that's good. It was a big game for them because I think they're in the driver's seat to win the division and get a home playoff game. I don't know if a lot of teams want to go to Chicago in the first round of the playoffs in that kind of weather, and they are known to have kind of crappy weather and super windy in that field condition. So I don't know. I like it. I almost attest it to like probably the Seahawks and the Rams. Didn't do too much for me because we talked about it last week. Losing Micah Parsons was probably going to be the Packers' downfall
Right.
going into the playoffs. But good for the Bears. It'll be interesting game this week coming up on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm getting like flashbacks, from a team I think in that division last year who won a lot of close games and then didn't do anything.
Yep, the
Yeah.
Vikings. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
I mean,
that's a
and
good
they
point.
won more
Yeah.
games. They were a 14-win team.
Yeah.
And then they went in and lost in the wild card.
Right.
Well, the whole
So-
NFC North decided not to play in the playoffs. They all lost.
Yep.
One and out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and they were like, all those teams were clutch time, and end of the game winners. Like the Lions did a lot; they'd have their game-winning drives and stuff like that. The Vikings were like, if they didn't have all the game-winning drives, they would have finished 6-11 last year.
Right.
They had 14 wins because game-winning drives, and Bears are the same way. If they didn't have their game-winning drives, they'd probably be like how they take away just all of them, all their
Mhm,
one-score
mhm.
games. So they flipped. They'd be like a 5-win team right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, crazy. I know we all had Bears to win that division, though, right?
yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, that one's upside down to me. Of course, I guess I didn't have them. Yeah, I probably did have them finishing last under the Vikings, even. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You were like, yeah, they're the worst team in the division, and their quarterback's going for 4,000.
Well, yeah, that might not happen. I think he needs 600 yards over 2 games now. So,
Well, I think that overtime helped him because I think that kind of put him over. I think he was below 200 passing going into overtime, and I think he got over 250,
yeah,
especially with that deep shot. But hey, if he can go into overtime games and
yeah,
maybe 600 seems tough for him
yeah,
for 2 games left.
Yeah,
If it was like
especially when they're
500
kind of run happy.
yeah,
I don't know though. Philip Rivers just put a pretty good stat line
That is
against
true.
Against the
the
Niners.
secondary
yeah.
he's playing this week, so
That
he
is
might
true.
go for 350 against us this week. Like, guess we'll find out.
Yeah, he's gonna have to shoot over a little bit against the Niners, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. You guys have any other standouts to you guys
I do.
from
Yes.
the week? Yeah.
I talked a lot about the Browns, how they could have won their game because the defense was amazing for the Browns, and they kept them in it. And Shedeur Sanders sucks ass, and that's why they lost the game. I mean, he threw 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. If you watched the game, he looked like a middle schooler out there trying to throw the ball. It was rough. He
Yeah.
threw a couple good passes where it's like I think he threw one to Harold Fan. It's like that was like top of the line quarterback pass that was right in the breadbasket, and then it's goes out the next play and throws it 6 feet over Jerry Judy's head. It's like, come on, Shador,
Mhm.
get your shit together. Like,
Right.
I mean, it kind of goes back. I've been thinking about this with the Browns. Like, I don't know. Do you think they made the right decision by signing Miles Garrett? I mean, you look at what teams have given up for like Micah Parsons and um, like Quinnen Williams, Sauce
Mhm.
Gardner, all these first round picks. So I mean, if you just even went across the board, like what Micah Parsons got, it was 2 first round picks and a player. So if the Browns would have done that, say they would have done that before the draft, because I think he signed his extension before the draft. I think it was even like in February or something like that. So if they would have gave up or if they would have got a 2025 first round pick, 2026 first round pick, and then they would have made the exact same trade that they made with Jaguars. No, they got another first round pick, I thought,
Yeah.
in
It
this
was the
draft.
Jags they moved.
Okay,
Yep.
so they would have set them up for 3 first round picks in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
You would have thought about it. Like,
Right.
are they better off
I think
trading Miles Garrett?
I think they're just so terrible at drafting that it's not going to help
It wouldn't
anyways.
matter.
I mean, you're looking at them. They had a high enough pick to get Drake May. This year they had a high enough pick to get Jackson Dart. They've
Mhm.
had like so many chances to get a quarterback, and that's their quarterback short of a playoff team.
Right.
I mean, they had Joe Flacco come in at 35 years old and ball out and take him to a playoff.
Mhm.
Like, they're just, if they could get a solid quarterback in there, I think they'd be on the right trajectory. And keep Miles Garrett would have definitely, if he had 28 sacks and they had a quarterback who could pass the football,
Right.
then they'd be probably 10 wins this year.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they got a good enough defense, like you said, as long as they had like even like maybe even a Sam Darnold on their team. You know what I mean?
yeah, but no, they're going to use their, they had the 4th pick and they traded it. And then they took a 3rd round quarterback and a 5th round quarterback
Right.
and said, cool, we're going to make it work. When they could have had pick of the litter other than Cam Ward.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess they still got Deshaun Watson on the roster, and he's been practicing. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
maybe.
that's why they won't get a high end quarterback. I didn't even think about that. I mean, they got Deshaun on a fat contract. You get a 1st round quarterback and pay him, $22 million a year is what Cam's rookie or
Yeah.
first year
Mhm.
was. So maybe they can't afford it.
probably
Be
That's-
like,
yeah.
oh, we're paying $70 million quarterbacks this year.
And they can't get rid of him because they've backloaded that contract so much that
Right.
I
Just
think
keep
they still
pushing
cost
it
him
back.
over $100 million. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I guess I kind of see that. Before then, I was going to say that I feel like they're multiple players away from it, not just one before that. But I think you're kind of right. I mean, their weapons have kind of worked out for them. Like Harold Fannin is really turning into a good receiving tight end. I mean, Quinshawn has had times, but I think they just load the box up against him because
Yeah.
they know they're not really going to pass out of situations most of the time.
Jones
So
Hampson's look good with the carries he's had.
yeah,
So
so I mean, I think you kind of switch my thoughts on that a little bit to say, yeah, maybe keeping him and then thinking they might have had a quarterback in the ones they drafted or something, and maybe Joe Flacco was going to give them a little something again. But yeah, maybe I mean they are kind of a quarterback away in some sense. Might be able to open a lot up. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question though, because you imagine what they would be able to do with all those picks though.
Right.
And now they're strapped again
yeah,
on the defense.
what they do with all those picks is they'd go out and pick, a good tight end again, probably have a 200 monster tight end.
Well,
Pick
they have
another good
Njoku
receiver.
too, who's no slouch. He plays good too.
Yeah,
so they already
they
have
probably have more weapons, more defense, and still not be able to do anything because they don't have a quarterback doing the ball.
Right.
So I don't think the picks would be any good.
Yeah.
Unless they traded away all those picks for a quarterback, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
unless they gave
Right.
4 first rounders to the Bengals.
I
Yeah.
do think they're going to be in the market for Mac Jones. I don't know. I wouldn't trust Shadur yet. I would probably go after another quarterback, somebody
Right.
proven a little bit. So
I don't think they're a team right now. I don't know. Maybe now you could trade Myles Garrett if anyone's willing to take on the contract. Which, if you have this cap room too, you're willing to take him on because he's going to break the sack record.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Maybe now you move on from Miles now that you've already failed and you're 2 years into his deal. And
But actually, his deal probably looks pretty good now because he signed it so early in the offseason last year that Micah Parsons got a big deal. I think Max Crosby got a big deal. There's a couple other edge rushers I think bypassed him as far as
yeah, I think he's like 4th or 5th
Yeah.
right now in contract.
so his
Yeah,
contract's probably not undoable. So
right.
yeah, they got him for a good price. I mean, really, when you're on pace projected 26, 27 sacks, you could pay him $100 million a year and it'd still be a good contract.
Right.
But
Imagine where he would be at on the. I mean, I know the games play out how they play out, but imagine where he'd be on the sack, or how many sacks he would have if they actually had an offense that put teams on their heels and made them
Right.
pass more.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
mhm.
If they had a decent offense.
I don't know. I almost wonder if their terrible offense is keeping them good too, because they are at like a 45-15 time of possession right now where he's on the field 45 minutes a game. So that helps a lot.
He gets more opportunities.
Yeah, it's like I think you're talking about dropbacks, and it's like he gets the same amount of opportunities because they throw 30 fat passes the first half before finishing them off.
So the one thing that's bad for them, and they drafted a defensive tackle with their first pick this year, is the fact that teams are over the past few weeks have made it pretty apparent that you can run against that
Mhm.
Browns defense. So I mean, as good a defense as I think they have been, I think we found out that they can get ran it because Cook ran for almost 200.
Yeah, which
Or-
is insane because Mason Graham's been a hell of a pass rush from the interior too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think he has like 5 or 6 this year too. So, and he stole the one that could have got the record for Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
And then I think we're all pretty high on Schlesinger too. I
Yep.
think he's probably in the running for being or a rookie defensive player of the year.
Oh hell
That
yeah.
linebacker.
Yep.
So I think they got the weapons on the interior with Graham and Schlesinger. So
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it's like they got Schlesinger second rounder, they got Graham first rounder, which any quarterback they would have chosen would have been a bigger impact than Mason Graham probably. But-
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're seeing like in the future he's going to be their next Myles Garrett, be an Aaron Donald type of guy, which
yeah, hopefully.
he might become one. He's playing good for a rookie, so
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we also took away from that game that the Bills defense is not there at all. They're not. I don't think they're going to be the playoff defense they need, but I think Josh Allen can still get them the wins. It's just going to be a lot harder path for them to get there than what I think even we assumed, because that defense is still, man, made 20 points to the Browns.
I
is-
think what's really screwing them and going to make their defense struggle is the Patriots. So they're not going to have any home games where you're dealing with 2 feet of snow, which makes defense easy.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, yeah, I mean, I think huge part of their playoff success defensively is the fact that they're last 3 years we've been seeing them play in Buffalo, and it's like, yeah, I
but
mean,
they're
what are you supposed
far
to do with
more
2 feet of snow?
susceptible to the run game than they are passing, which usually seems to affect in the snow more as the passing game. So.
I know. I think a good snow game running back, and all I can think about is J.D. McCoy on the Bills anyway. So
Well, I agree with that. I'm just saying their defense is going
yeah,
to get hammered. That's why they give up a lot of rushing yards.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I actually thought for a minute they were going to drop that game to the Browns, but another game I saw that was like, I guess, surprised the hell out of me was the Texans struggling against the Raiders.
Mhm.
That gave me a little pause about them too, because it's starting to get that feeling about them, like, wow, man, they might do some damage, but they the Raiders look pretty good against them, and they haven't looked good since, I don't know, have they looked good at all this season?
Just a couple games against the Broncos, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. I think it's not really giving me pause on Texans. It's just it took a lot longer to show what we talked about in the offseason in the Raiders episode and stuff, and free agency and draft. We thought they did really good throughout the whole thing, and it just took them longer to get to there.
Yeah.
Especially with Geno being as bad as I said he was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was pretty much. It doesn't really give me pause. It was 2 explosive plays from Genty. It was that long touchdown run for 51 yards. Then he had that like 60-yard touchdown catch. I mean, that's 14 points right there.
Right.
Which was good to see for Genty. I mean, I didn't expect him to have his best game against the Houston Texans defense, but
Well, I mean, Brandon said it before. I said it before this game. You run up the middle against the Texans and you have success. And I pulled up his spray chart, I guess is what you call it, where he ran to every play. He had one outside run, tackle for loss, and then farthest outside he went was off tackle, so right off
Mhm.
tackle shoulder. And literally other than that one outside run, it was minimum 1.5 yards. And then he had a lot of
Yep.
big plays. So,
yeah, that kind of tracks with the Houston's defense because I think I saw a chart where they are like the least team to blitz and they pretty much don't ever disguise coverage. So they're going to line up what they line up in and pretty much just tell teams, hey, we're better than you.
Yeah.
And that's a good point because I think they have a really good tandem in Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. to where their defensive ends are maybe line up a little bit wider than normal just to get a good pass rush. So that is a good point to run inside the tackles against
Yeah,
that team.
I
That's where
mean-
you're going to be successful against them.
Yeah, I think Will runs a 9 and Danielle Hunter runs a 7 because
Mhm.
they're hell players and they got their good moves too, but they're both just fast as hell, and that's a huge part of their pass rush. Is they just dip low and run around
Right.
tackles. So, I mean, you try and dip low and run around tackle, and they're running up the one gap.
Mhm.
You can't stop it.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. It just when I was watching that one, I was like, wow, the Raiders might pull this off. It would have been a huge victory for them to knock off the Texans because Texans been rolling. But
Yeah.
Texans were able to get it done. I think the Texans though, I think when they're going into, I think their offense is kind of hitting its stride. I know that I think he got hit a couple times. Their offensive line is playing better than what I thought it would though. So they're able to run the ball a lot better. Seem like now late in the season, and they're able to pass protect Stroud a lot better than what they did early on. So I think that's really, I think that's been helped them in this. But yeah, I still think it's kind of funny, like you said, that it came against the Raiders
Mhm.
when we seen their, kind of the weak spot for them. But maybe the Raiders are finally starting to put it together late, way too late. But
yeah. How are you feeling about Stroud at this point in the year? I guess that's something I want to talk about.
I don't know. I think he looks okay when he has time, but he's still not the guy that we see in the first year.
Yeah, and he can't. I don't think he gets ball out quick enough for how bad his line is. And honestly, I think there should be a QB battle between Davis Mills and CJ because Davis isn't the athlete that CJ is, but he ran the offense better, and his snap to throw is faster because he can't just run around for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So he's pretty good about getting the ball out quick and stuff. And I think their offense looked smoother. It was less electric, but it looked smoother.
Right.
with
No, that's a
Davis
good
Mills.
call because they did kind of part of their comeback into the season with their winning streak was spurred on by Davis Mills when he came in.
Yeah. So, and also that's another thing you're talking about. The Browns being interested in Mac Jones. I'd be more interested in Davis Mills at this point because he ran that offense well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because just looking at his stats, he kind of tore up the Cardinals defense, and he did okay. I mean, his percentage and everything was fine against the Raiders. He completed 23 passes for 187 yards, so
Mm.
he's kind of just dinking and dunking. I wish they had like one more weapon besides Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins is really good. I
Mhm.
think I can't remember if I know I had him in my top 10 receivers list.
I can't remember if I did or not.
And I
I
think
think
he's been
yeah,
balling out this year because he stayed healthy. I think that's been his Achilles heel the last couple of years is he couldn't stay healthy, and I think he's finally stayed healthy. I don't know. I just don't trust. I still don't trust the offensive line for CJ Stroud. Um, I think it has to be pretty clean for him. I think he's making do with what he's got.
Mhm.
So I think that's going to be their downfall when they get into the playoffs, just kind of like what it was last year when they went up against the Chiefs. Is if you can't protect CJ Stroud, I think this offense kind of tends to crumble a little bit.
well, good news. All your elite pass rushers are not in the playoffs anymore.
That is
you
true.
got
And
Chris Jones is out. Miles Garrett is out. Max Crosby's out.
Yeah.
And that's your top 3 in the AFC, I think, for pass rushers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I don't know. I think if they can get into the playoffs, they can make some noise because I think they have one of the best defenses in the league. But
as long
Yeah.
as they don't run into TJ Watt, who I kind
Yeah.
of forgot about. But
that is true.
Oh,
if
yeah.
he doesn't get
Yeah.
his lung punctured again or whatever the heck he got punctured
Yeah.
doing.
Is that what happened to him?
He was doing the dry needling.
Oh, geez.
Somebody went a little too far.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, yeah, that's messed up. One other game I kind of want to talk about from this week. There was a lot of decent games out there, but man, what about the Titans looking that good against the Chiefs defense? Like, are the Chiefs just throwing it, or are the Titans finally figuring something out? Because they've been able to run the ball the last few weeks, and then against the Chiefs, who we didn't expect much out of their offense, because even Gardner Minshew ended up going down. But I mean, it was like me and Gage were talking like, how did that defense was still pretty much whole. I mean, for the most part, I think Chris Jones was still in. I think they still had their heavy hitters in there, and the Titans pretty much took it to them.
Mm-hmm. I think Chiefs might be the only team to get away with doing a tank job this late in the year. I don't know. When I saw like the inactive list before the game, I was like, really, Chiefs? Is this what we're doing now just because you didn't make the playoffs? It's kind of like a Notre Dame situation. Like, hey, we're not going to be in the postseason, so we're not going to
Yeah.
we're not going to attempt. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
see, I
didn't.
kind of said that before too, where it was
Mhm.
like, all right, everybody with a little minor injury will be out. But
Right.
as far as I remember, there were still some guys in there that were players. But
Right. I think, like you said, for the most part, the defense seemed like it was intact. It was the offense that
Mhm.
most of the inactives were happening. I think Rasheed Rice didn't play. A couple other big names probably didn't play. The offensive line is in shambles. I think the offensive line has been in shambles all season. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I didn't take away too much of this game. I mean, good for the Titans to kind of put a game like this together. I think it's good for Cam Ward and the Titans to, you know, kind of go out there and show that they can do this. I
Yeah.
think we've been kind of high on Cam Ward all season, and even against the Niners, I thought he played pretty well. They
Yeah.
ran the ball a lot better than I thought they were going to, but
Mhm.
yeah, and good for the Titans to not be in the tanking situation that the
Yeah.
Chiefs are in.
Right.
I think what happened is the receivers finally learned how to catch the Mike Vick fastball that Cam Ward throws.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, it's like you just see a lot of drops, and this time you didn't see a bunch, and he was 21 for 28. And I mean, he's been threading the needle, throwing it
Mm-hmm.
100 miles an hour into any gap he wanted to because he can. And it just finally we're getting caught. And I wonder if it's part of he's learned how to put some touch on his balls too,
Right.
probably. But
Yeah.
Seemed like DK had a pretty good game in that one too, and he's a rookie, isn't he?
yeah,
DK?
Chimere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, no, I just wanted to bring that up because I didn't know what to expect from that. I think we all picked the Chiefs to
I think
win,
so, yeah.
but it was like, yeah, they could possibly get beat in this one, but not beat down. So it was kind of fun to watch. But yeah, I don't know. Last week was obviously a lot of teams got eliminated, a lot of teams clinched. So there's only a couple spots left, I think, in each
Yeah, I
conference,
think you got 2 spots left in each. So
I
and just
think,
a few teams still
yeah,
vying for it.
a couple of those are just going to be for whoever wins the division.
Hmm.
You got like the
Steelers.
Steelers and Ravens,
Yeah,
and
Steelers,
then
Ravens, Panthers, Bucks.
Panthers, Bucks. So whoever wins the division will be in from those teams.
Pretty much there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think the Lions are still technically in it, and they could, them and the Packers, I think, is a big one, right? Like,
Yeah, I
both of them
think it
could
was if the
still,
Packers won this week, the Lions were eliminated.
yeah.
'Cause-
So Packers have to lose out, not Lions have to win out. I
Mhm.
think is the situation.
Mhm.
So, all right. Well, let's go into the players of the week and get it started.
Cool.
Gage.
I debated a lot between Brock Purdy and Matthew Stafford for this. So I pushed them both aside and went with Ashton Genty.
All
And his
right.
188 all-purpose yards for 2 touchdowns. And we already talked about it a little bit. You run between the tackles against the Texans, you're going to have a good game. But he showed his speed. He showed his explosiveness, especially on that long catch. I mean,
Mhm.
one catch for 60 yards. It was impressive. Just, like a wheel route, and he turned on the burners. And
Which I've been kind of surprised because I think coming into the league this year, a lot of teams or a lot of people didn't realize how good of like a receiving back he was just because I think he ran the piss out of the ball his
Yeah.
last year. But the year before at Boise State, when I think he was a junior or sophomore or whatever, I think he caught like almost 50 passes or something like that. So he had the ability in him, which is kind of surprised. I thought Geno Smith would have used him more earlier in the season. I thought he
Yeah.
was going to be on pace for maybe like 60 or 70, catches throughout the backfield. But I don't know. It's just the Las Vegas Raiders
Yeah.
offense. I don't know. They've been kind of crap all year. So this was good to see because I think a couple weeks ago I said it was almost a waste that Genty was on the Raiders team because they're not, exploiting what he actually could be. And it was good to see this game to he still can run for 120 yards and catch a couple passes for 60
yeah.
yards. So I like that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
And should I watched him live in Boise that year you talked about where he had 50 catches? I think he ran for 200 and had 4 catches for 70 yards
did
that
he?
game.
Yeah.
And we were like, that's the only time I've ever seen it where we were projected to beat Boise. The next thing you know, this unheard of Ashton Genty decides to go for 210 yards and whatever he did through the air. And I was like, why in the hell did I drive 8 hours to Boise
Right.
to
Go
watch
on.
this guy just torch the shit out of the Wyoming defense all day? Like,
That tracks
Yeah.
though for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
My offensive player of the week, it's kind of been like just a string, so I wanted to talk to him about the last 4 weeks. But I think this week was just a big game for him and his team was Trevor Lawrence going into Denver and just dominating the Denver Broncos. That was a game we didn't really talk about, but that was kind of an eye-opening game for Jacksonville to go into Denver and just dominate,
Yeah.
especially against that defense. So he was 23 out of 36 for 279 yards passing, and then 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. He had 6 rushes for 20 yards and 1 touchdown. So 4 total touchdowns. And then the last 4 weeks, he has a little over 1,000 yards passing, 12 passing touchdowns with no interceptions, and 141 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's kind of hitting stride at the right time.
Right.
Talked about it last week with Jacksonville. I think he's just finally getting comfortable in that Liam Cohen offense. And you see it, man.
Yeah.
This offense just looks good right now.
Yeah.
looks
I
really
think you were throwing the credit the wrong way, though. I think it's they picked up a little bit when Jacoby came in.
That's true.
Jacoby
Yep.
got comfortable with the offense, and now it's clicking because he's bringing 2 or 3 defenders every play.
Well, it opened it up for, like, Parker Washington had a huge
Yeah.
game against the Denver Broncos, and I got to watch a little bit of that game, and it wasn't like anything special, but he was getting the ball off into, like, the flat to Parker Washington, and it was just a broken tackle away from the next 50, 60 yards after that. It was like, holy cow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It's like you see a safety drop back and the corner going back with Jacoby Myers, and who the hell? I didn't know he had the name of Tyreek Hill to have 2 or 3 guys
Yeah.
chasing down the
Warrant
field.
that much coverage.
Yep.
Yeah, these GMs and coaches are seeing a lot on film that I guess we just don't see. That, man, the second Jacoby got there, and Trevor's a good quarterback.
Mhm.
I like to hate on him, but he's a good quarterback, and of course he's a huge part of this offense too. But it is like the offense transformed the second they
Right.
brought in Jacoby.
Like I said, I think a big part of it mostly is just I think everybody's getting comfortable with Liam Cohen. We saw it the last year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how explosive they were in on that offense. So I think you're starting to kind of see it manifest into Jacksonville this year.
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
they're
kinda cool to
looking
see.
dangerous.
Yeah.
It is funny that we spent so much time on the Browns, but didn't end up talking about that game. But no, you're right, because the Jaguars are looking dangerous. They've got their running game going. I didn't realize Lawrence was playing that well. That's an awesome one because I didn't realize he was putting together
Mhm.
those type of numbers. So yeah, that's a really good one. I ended up going with Brock Purdy. I had to. I was that game. Watched it last night. He looked good. And it wasn't just. I mean, yeah, he had 5 touchdown passes. That was awesome. The interception he threw was off of the hands. I think it was Bourne. I think it was off his hands. But he was 25 for 34. The dude was just lights out. He was hitting everything. It was like there wasn't even a defense out there. And I give credit to Kittle and the receivers too for getting open there. The only ugly routes I was seeing was from Jawan Jennings. That dude cannot run routes very well at all. If he learns how to run routes, the dude is going to be probably the best number 2 wide receiver in the league. But
I don't know. I almost prefer that he does know how to run routes because it's just awesome watching big body the hell out of every.
and he
corner of
had
the
to
league
on
make
that
a grab.
one over the middle that Brock threw him, and it was on a third
They're a
down.
little behind and stuff. It's like, yeah, get out my way, little
Yeah.
kid.
Mhm.
And
Well,
snagged
it was just a terrible route too. He was full of
Mhm.
nobody. He like went out. It was like he was on ice skates out there
Yeah.
running that route. It was terrible. But I mean, I give it up to the whole team. But I mean, really, Brock Purdy was finding. It seemed like he was distributing the ball well. I mean, Kittle had the lion's share, I feel like, but still, he was distributing well. He was seeing the field, and he was hitting guys on. And when they did get into third down, it was like big time plays. It was a hell of a game, and it's good to see him kind of like shake off all that injury rust and do everything that he had because you weren't sure how he was going to do, but he's on fire going into the right time too, like you said about
Mhm.
Lawrence. So.
Yeah, he's starting to really, start proving the doubters wrong because they were, well, you should keep Mac Jones. You should keep Mac Jones. Like, you just got to let him shake off the rust, man.
Right.
He'll start slinging it again. And he's just a big time moment kind of player you see from him. He's not necessarily going to make your 80-yard passes all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
you need him to win a game. He's easily 90% game winning drives, like completion
Right.
percentage, and
Yeah.
get down to the end of the season playoffs, and he's slinging the rock. And
Yeah, he did miss one pass that I thought that it would have been awesome if he connected on. I think it was kind of a wheel route from Christian McCaffrey,
Mhm.
and he missed him. McCaffrey had 2 guys beat, and he just kind of overthrew him a little bit. But yeah, it was like, man, that one would have went for a touchdown too. But
man,
yeah,
it's
heck of a
crazy
game.
watching NFL quarterbacks, and the deep ball accuracy just isn't there with like anybody. I mean, Josh overthrows,
Mhm.
Stafford overthrows deep balls. It's like, how are you guys? Like, I feel like you see a bunch of dads out here with a beer in one hand throwing 50-yard dots. It's like, how are these NFL quarterbacks not doing it? Like,
Right. And I'll give it up to Phillip Rivers too, because he shredded that Niners
Mhm.
defense. That
Yeah.
was impressive. I did not think that they were even going to be able to score hardly any points on him. in the passing game, but it was the opposite. Like they weren't able to run the ball, but didn't matter because Philip Rivers would just come out there and
Mhm.
yeah, he was
But
slinging it too.
like you said, man, in the text, it's crazy how much Renardo Green means to the
Mhm.
secondary. I seen him as a hell of a run stopping corner, and I know he is big body corner and will bully receivers, which is I've
Yeah.
been high on him, but
Hmm.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was that important.
Daryl Luter just doesn't have it right now. Man, he was
No.
getting torched. Even like I said on that one where
Yeah,
he got sacked. That guy that Daryl Luter was running, he was running a post, and Luter was like 5 yards behind him. I was like, oh my god, dude, what are you doing?
yeah. I think
I
it
don't
was
think
Downs.
Sala.
I think it was Downs who got away on that
Oh,
one.
That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I don't think Sala likes to switch corners to cover the
Uh-uh.
receiver one, so it's just they put Downs out on the left, and
Mhm.
you got Lenore on the right, and now Downs is running against Luter, and Luter,
Right.
yeah, he's just not that good of a corner.
Yeah. So that was it was a lot funner game than what I thought. I mean, I don't like watching my Niners get torched, but it was kind of cool seeing the Colts do that. Okay, defensive player of the week.
Defensive player of the week. This one I tossed up a couple times, a little bit. Derek Stingley had a interception and a forced fumble. That was pretty cool. But I ended up going with Jared Verse because he had 1.5 sacks, and then he had a pick, and it was, man, he just like covered an in-breaking route, just like it looked like Fred Warner out there with his coverage. It was pretty crazy.
Nice.
Which is the biggest reason I didn't go with Stafford. It's like shit. Stafford, Jared Verse, Stafford, Jared Verse, Jared Verse. But
Yeah, it's kind of sickening watching the Rams defense. Like every week, it kind of seems like there's somebody different on that defensive line that's balling out. You got Jared Verse. You got is it Byron Young? Byron
yeah, Byron
Yeah, I
Young.
Byron
think so.
Young. Was he the one that had the interception
Yeah, I
in the
think,
red zone?
yeah,
He
yeah.
300-pound defensive tackle, just dropping back in coverage and making an interception. And then you got Fisk, and then
Puna Ford.
Puna Ford. I mean, that defensive line. It just doesn't matter if somebody's having a down game. That just means somebody else is having a good
Picking
game.
it up. Yeah.
So
It's crazy how athletic their D line is.
Mhm.
Like you said, like Jared
Yeah.
Verse drop back, played coverage like linebacker.
Puna
Byron Young drops back,
Yeah, it's
plays
just
coverage
crazy.
like linebacker
Yep.
at 300 pounds.
Yep. I like that one. My defensive, it's not necessarily a team defense. It's just what their run defense was. But Pittsburgh's run defense, they held Detroit Lions to 12 rushes for 15 yards. And I went and did a little bit of research, and that's the lowest in Dan Campbell's tenure since he's been a Lions coach. And
Wow.
there's like a correlation. I think the next one I saw was his first or second year there when they weren't very good, but I think they had 26 rushing yards that game. So this is like by far the lowest
Oh wow.
game. So 12 rushes, 15 yards. And then doing a little research this year, Lions are 0-6 when they rush for less than 100 yards this season. And then they rushed for like 116 and another loss to the Packers. But talked about it earlier in the year. I think the formula is out on the Lions if you can kind of stop Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery from like running. Jahmyr
Yeah.
Gibbs has been kind of going off in the passing game, but if you can kind of take away their running game, it's kind of a recipe to beat them.
Yeah.
Which-
And they've been held to that, and you can tell this year because they're not doing that
Right.
well. Jahmyr Gibbs was having great games, period, up until about 4 weeks ago, and things have been taken away.
Mhm.
So yeah, I totally agree with your sentiment on that because it has changed their whole concept.
Yeah,
Like,
yep.
they are not the team that we expected them to be. So,
Could you imagine if Matthew Stafford, the way he's playing this year, was still on that Lions roster that they have?
yeah,
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery and Amon-Ra St.
Yeah.
Brown and MVP Matthew Stafford out there.
Jameson Williams. And,
Yeah, Jameson Williams. That offense would be, they'd be putting up 35 points
Mhm.
a game.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one. Okay. Defensive player of the week. You guys talked about him earlier. I think you guys mentioned him. We talked about him a little bit. I got Carson Schlesinger. I thought he played a hell of a game. He was, if I remember right, he was the one that was spying Josh Allen. And so I think he held him in the pocket, made that look ugly. He had 14 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, which is probably the sack, and then 2 QB hits as well. So I looked into that game. I was going for see what Myles Garrett and what's that other guy, Mason Graham, had because I saw that play. But then when I saw what Schlesinger was doing, and then when I remember going back and watching that game, I was like, yeah, actually, I think he was spying
Mhm.
Allen, and I think Allen. I don't even know if he got over 20 yards in that game rushing. I know
Got
if it
He
was,
didn't
it
run
wasn't by
much,
much.
yeah.
So yeah, he had a great game. The dude is just a rookie. I think he's going to be a total
Mm-hmm.
stud for a long time in the league. So
It's scary because it's like watching a young Fred Warner out there.
Yeah.
He'll fly in and stop the run. He'll cover the pass. He'll spy anybody in the league, and
mhm.
It almost makes me wonder. It seems like your guys have a lot in common when it comes to play style.
Yeah,
Seem to practice together in the offseason. So we're going to see a Fred Warner, Carson Schwessinger private workout
that'd be
going on
awesome.
here.
Yeah,
I
that
mean, the
would be
dude's
cool.
so athletic to be able to keep up with Josh Allen running
Mhm.
around and stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's go into the overreaction.
Hold on.
Okay.
I did add a special teams player of the week this
yeah,
week.
he did. Yeah.
It was Rashid Shaheed and
Mhm.
his punt return touchdown that you mentioned that sprung the comeback. And I know I feel like a lot of receivers have been playing crazy special teams to bring back if they had punt returns, kick returns to spring comebacks. And
Mhm.
I know I feel like we talk about it, but I want to do special teams player of the week for it this week. So
Yeah, I like that one too.
So what was fun? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I like that because I don't think Rashid. Be going into that game, I was like, man, Shaheed doesn't seem like he's done much. And
Yep.
then all of a sudden, when they punted it to him, I was like, who the hell was that? Like, oh, I didn't know he was returning punts and he's scoring touchdowns on special teams. So huge pickup for them. Go out and get him from the Saints.
I was about to say the same thing. I went over to Kells, and Aaron was there. He's a big Seahawks fan. And we were hanging out, and we were talking about how Smith and Jigba's been taken away. And, at this point in the game, they were getting beat up on pretty good. The Seahawks were. And I was like, yeah, I go and like the Shaheed trade doesn't seem like it's doing anything. I mean, you're not hearing about him. And then, yeah, it was the same thing. Like, I think it was just about what I think that was in the third quarter.
Mhm.
And then the fourth quarter comes and he makes that. I was like, oh, okay, he finally did it. But it was on special teams. So I like that one because it spurred a lot in that game. So they found a role for him.
yeah,
All right, so let's go into the overreaction, if you have one.
I do not have one.
Okay.
I just something that I thought was pretty funny was so two teams. Seattle had and this is all based off like the ESPN analytics. So two teams in the fourth quarter. Seattle had a 1.7% chance to win with 8:22 left in the fourth quarter. They came back and won, and then the Bears had a 0.9% chance to win with 3:27 left in the fourth quarter, and they ended up winning. So I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, a little bit of overreaction, but it kind of has the trend of how teams are kind of playing this year. I mean, it definitely trends for the Bears. They're definitely in close games. It kind of seems like every single time, but to have like a 0.9% chance to win with under 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and ended up winning, and then Seattle 1.7% chance to win in the fourth quarter. Both
like it.
both comebacks.
Both of them won. Yeah, I like it. So my overreaction is actually me. I picked the Lions and the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl.
So did I.
And neither of them seem like they're going to even make the playoffs right at this point. So, yeah, my overreaction is me picking them to be in the Super Bowl, and that is not looking even close.
Nope.
They are not the teams that I thought they were going to be. I was so high on the Ravens. I picked them to win, and they aren't. They'll probably have a less chance, maybe, or I think they're probably pretty close to 1% chance for both of them. They need teams to lose out, and yeah. So the Ravens need to win their division, and I don't think they're going to be able to do that. Steelers are probably going to clinch that up.
Yeah,
So
they're 2 games behind the Steelers. So
yeah, that's my overreaction. Is like I said, me picking them to win.
I did too. Yep.
All right, underreaction.
I got an underreaction. We talked about it earlier. How in the hell do you punch a fan in the face and get a 2-game suspension? I'm sitting here. It's like DK Metcalf punches a fan in the face, and I'm thinking 6 to 12 weeks. Like, who cares about what the fan said, what truly happened, even though there's a video that clearly shows he just called him DeKalen, which, if you're that embarrassed about your name, go legally change it to DK. Like, but, I don't know. I feel like if you look at it, it cost him potentially a lot of money. It voids $45 million in guaranteed because of contract violations, but he still has the potential to earn all that money. So it's like it didn't even cost him that bad if he can stay healthy. It's all I was reading into a little bit, and it costs him that money if he has a serious injury and misses like 8 or 9 games in a season. Then they don't have to pay him any of that guaranteed money. So it's like I just don't think that's big enough punishment. Like, I don't care what's like. I'm not huge on holding players to a higher standard and stuff when it comes to talking crap with fans and all that. I'm like, they want to run their mouth. Who cares? Like, it's still I know he's a professional football player, but you're still talking crap to a grown ass man. You should expect some repercussion.
Right.
But especially after watching the video and he's just being called to Kalen, like,
Yeah, and it was a I think the guy was saying something about seeing him in Seattle or something like that too. I don't remember how it went out. I don't remember. I saw somewhere about with the Seattle Seahawks as well or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I could see it kind of be like, you start calling me Brandon. If I didn't like, you'd be like, stop calling me Brandon. And then eventually get mad about it. But I still don't think it's worth punching somebody in the face
right.
over.
Yeah, it's tough because I agree with everything you said. The thing with the NFL is like he physically had to go over there, and the guys in like the bottom row of the stands, but he has to physically like go up there and reach. It's not like the NBA or that guy stormed the field or something like that. So I mean, he personally went out of his way to walk over there and put his hands on a fan in the stands. You know what I mean? So he's the one who went and did it. It'd be different if like the fan, like you said, came down on the field and like stormed the field and got in his face, and or like the NBA and to where they're just right there on the court to where like you fall into somebody and they say something, you put your hands on them. It's just like unavoidable. But yeah, for DK to actually go out of his way and like reach up there and put his hands on him to where the guy didn't do anything to him besides call him something he didn't want to be called.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like
called
if
him,
we
yeah,
had that happen, even if it was racial slurs, which this claims it is, if any of that happened to any of us and we went that far out of our way and like
Mhm.
reached 8 feet in the air to try and go
Right.
after him, we'd have a court date for assault
Yeah.
already scheduled.
Right.
Like we would spend a night in jail and stuff for that.
yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, I like that one too. It's definitely an underreaction, and the guy's going to be back for the playoffs.
Right.
So yeah, I like that one.
My underreaction is this year has the potential if the Detroit Lions do not make the playoffs because the Chiefs already are eliminated. This is could be the first time since the 2022-2023 season where the both number one seeds from the previous year did not make the playoffs.
Oh wow.
So that was New England was the AFC number one seed in 02, and then Philadelphia was the number one seed in the NFC in 02, and then 2023 they did not make the playoffs following year as being number one seeds.
Okay.
So going back 22 years.
Are you talking about like 2002?
02. Yeah, I'm sorry. 02.
2003.
Yeah.
02,
02. So
03.
I was
20.
gonna say you said 22, 23.
Did
I'm
I?
like, well,
Okay.
that's not that
Yeah.
long. But
So 23 years ago, it's been 23 years since the number one seeds in both from the previous year did not make the playoffs, and we have the most likely potential to have it this year with the
Yeah.
Lions not making it.
That's an awesome stat. That's crazy. I didn't think about that either.
yeah,
I like that a lot because that's in both teams. I expected the Chiefs to have a down year. You were kind of right about how much the coordinators are affecting the Lions.
Mhm.
You mentioned that. So yeah, no, that is crazy. That's a good stat. My underreaction is kind of like we've been talking about bad teams that might not have any playoff implications. I'm going to keep that going. The Saints getting better. People are really talking about it.
Yeah.
But you think about what they're doing. I mean, they're kind of playing spoiler, man. They beat the Bucks. So then they turn around and beat the Panthers just when you think, oh, Panthers can run away with that now. Then they beat the Panthers, and then they just stomp the Jets. So it's like bad team versus bad team, but I think they definitely put themselves
Mhm.
above that. And I mean, I think it has to do with their quarterback, Tyler Sugar. I think he's playing pretty good, but also their defense is playing really well.
Mhm.
that D
So
line they're putting themselves up there with like the Rams D line
Right.
at this point.
yeah, they're playing really well. I
Yeah.
think. I mean, this is not. I'm not going to say, "Oh, watch out for this team next year," but it's like kind of in their division they're in. Yeah, I mean, they could make some noise next year, and it's not something I thought was going to happen.
Right.
So
We'll have to see what they do in the draft, especially with the picks they got from Shaheed. But they could be a team to watch out for next year.
okay, so I'm going to change hats here because we're going into our picks now. So we're going to go with my second half hat, which is the Santa hat. So yeah. And it's actually Santa is on my hat. If the ones who aren't watching on YouTube. So
Yeah, that's a pretty cool head. It's got a big
yeah.
red nose like Rudolph. It's
Santa trucker hat. I like it.
yeah, heck yeah.
It's got
All
a
right.
rainbow or a rabbit tail on the top. It's got a lot going on. It's a pretty cool hat though.
Hey, you.
Oh,
Hey.
we're about to lose headphones.
All right, so we have finally had a winner in our NFL Pick'em on for our listeners, and we have Aaron Galinas ended up winning the big one, $100. He had 3 losses. It came down between him and Bracken Miller. Each had 3 losses. Both of them went into Monday Night picking the 49ers. One of them picked 42 for the tie-breaking points. The other one picked 45, and the Niners beat that by themselves.
Yeah.
So it was definitely, I think it was Aaron who got and I know it was Aaron who picked the 45. So it's gone to Aaron. Good job, man. Awesome. $100 to you. We'll get that
Nice,
out.
good job,
Just
man.
get a hold of one of us, either on Facebook or text or however you want to get a hold of us, let us know that you heard that we called your name, and we'll get you your $100 out to you. So that's pretty awesome. You definitely beat us three for sure.
Yeah.
We've decided that me and Jared both tied at 10-6, and Gage went 9-7. So it wasn't a terrible week for us, but
I think I finally cinched it. I don't think I could be under 500. I think
yeah,
I finally sealed the deal on that.
yeah. So that still puts Jared out. Same amount of games. He was up 10 on me, I think, and still is up. Is it 10 or 8?
8.
8. 163, 78 and 1. Jared, that's pretty impressive. I am at 155, 86 and 1. And then Gage is at 133, 109 and 1. So
Right.
yeah. You've actually shaped up the last couple weeks.
We
So
have.
you
Yeah.
went 6-10 the one week, and then it's been 11-3 and 9-7. So
Nice.
heck yeah. All right. Or 11 and whatever that was, 5.
Yeah, I stopped trying to. Well, I did pick the Titans every week except for weeks they won, so that helped a little bit.
Yep.
And then, yeah, just got to start actually caring about my picks.
Right.
Start trying.
So we already decided that we got a lot of teams already out. We only got a few playoffs implications, but there is seeding still. A lot of seeding that's going to be decided over the next 2 weeks. So we got Christmas games. We have Saturday games. Got another long weekend of football. So let's go ahead and
Yeah.
go into our picks.
Cool to start it off at 11 o'clock on Christmas Day. Got the Cowboys versus the Commanders. A game that has no implications whatsoever except for draft stock. And I don't think either team's going to draft that well either. So I think it just has no implications at all. But I'm taking the Cowboys 28-10.
I like the Cowboys as well. I like their offense better than I like the Commanders' defense. Both defenses really aren't that great anyway, but I do like the Cowboys winning 27-23.
Okay, they got Dallas as a 7-point favorite, which I'm okay with because you guys kind of mentioned the Commanders been kind of all over the place with their offense. They played a decent, but they're are on offense at times, then not. But their defense hasn't played well all season, so I'm going with the Cowboys as well. I got it 35-24.
Cool. Is it 3 o'clock that the next game is on Christmas? It's 11-3 and 6:25.
I think so, yep.
Okay, 3 o'clock, you got the Lions, the Vikings. And this one could have implications, but it's also not a big deal. Like I said, I think the Packers would have to lose out for
Mhm.
the Lions to have a chance anyways. But the Vikings could seal the deal on the Lions. Could shut that door. I don't think it's gonna happen though. I got the Lions taking it 21-17.
Yeah, I like the Lions as well. The JJ McCarthy injury, he left in I think the second quarter, and he never came back, and it was to his throwing hand. So if that Max Brosner has to play,
Yeah,
like it's not good. It's not going to be good for the Vikings. I do like the Lions winning this one, 26-17.
okay. Yeah, they have Detroit as a 6-point favorite, which I think that has to do with maybe McCarthy not playing, but I mean, I'm not really comfortable with either of these teams at all. I really thought going into this one, maybe the Lions would be the heavy favorite for me, but I still had struggled with picking them because the Vikings seem to be playing spoiler, a little bit. But I still am winning, but I only got it a 27-24 win for the Lions. But I could see the Vikings winning this one. The Lions have not looked good, so
Cool. And then the last Christmas game at 6:25. Again, not huge implications. I mean, the Broncos win, it might affect seeding a little bit. They might be able to clinch the first seed with this one, huh?
yeah, possibly. I think so. Well, the Patriots are right there with
I think
them
they're
too.
tied with the Patriots,
Mm.
record-wise anyway.
Well,
Yeah, because of that loss last week. For the
either
Jags.
way, if the Broncos come out and they lose to Chris Dukin, then I mean, they probably just should be taken out of the playoffs anyways.
Yeah.
Just like I don't care about your record. You lost to Chris Dukin. So I'm taking the Broncos in this one, 21-0.
Nice. Yeah, I think the Broncos are, like you said, are playing definitely for. I don't know if they definitely have the division clinched up with the Chargers being one game behind, but I think they can clinch the division with winning this game. So this has more implications on them than the tanking Chiefs.
Mhm.
So I have them winning big too, 31-10.
Okay. Yeah, they have Denver as a 12.5-point favorite in this one, and I'm totally okay with that. Chiefs just got beat down by the Titans, so I think they're pretty much giving up And I know it's a division rivalry still, but yeah, I still like the Broncos to win big. I got it pretty close to what you had, 31-13.
Cool. Next game is going to be Texans Chargers, and depending on how this one goes, the Broncos could probably or will seal their division. I think Chargers are probably going to go Omar and Hampton and whoever running back they want to throw in there, Kamani Vidal, any of them, and they're just going to run it up the middle the whole time. And I think they're going to pull off the win. I think they're going to take it 28-24.
Like Chargers.
Yeah, I like the Chargers trajectory better than I do like the Texans trajectory right now. The Texans, like we talked about against the Raiders, kind of left me like kind of scratching my head a little bit. I mean, even though they won, but I cannot get that wild card game out of my mind from last year when the Texans went in there and just freaking stomped the Chargers, and that was with Joe Walton, Rashawn Slater. They just made life living hell for Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Texans kind of have the formula to beat the Chargers. So I got them winning 20-19.
I don't know. Does that formula work if they go between the tackles 35 times and Justin Herbert throws the ball 8?
That's true, but it's going to be if he throws the ball 8, it's going to be 4 interceptions again like last year. So
That's
Right.
true. Yeah, that's true.
So they got the Chargers as a 2.5-point favorite. I like the fact that it was close. I think they only have Chargers favorited because they are at home, I'm guessing. This was a tough one for me to choose because the Chargers just keep getting it done. They just somehow they make things ugly, and it's just a Jim Harbaugh thing. I think that he's always been capable of doing that. He's a really good coach. I think he puts people in position to win. The Texans, yeah, I think from last week they've been vulnerable against the run, and I think last week proved it. And I do think I agree with Gage. I think the Chargers are going to be able to get done, but it's going to be really close, 24-20 Chargers.
Cool. Same spread, just different. Just
Yep.
another touchdown on there. Next game is Ravens Packers. I think it could be a really good game. The Ravens put on a good performance against the Patriots, and Drake May just went into MVP mode and took over and won the game for him. So Ravens best week probably of the season against the Patriots last year because they've looked rough all year. So I'm still taking the Packers, but I think it's going to be a 28-22 game for the Packers.
I like that. This game, you just know, both quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson and Jordan Love, exited pretty early, I think, in the second quarter in both games. So Lamar left with a back injury. I haven't heard anything on him. Love left with a concussion, I believe,
Yeah, I think
with that
so.
helmet-to-helmet hit. Still not sure the status of that. So if they both play, I guess I went based off of if they were both playing. But I like the Packers winning at home 24-23 in a close game because the Ravens or John Harbaugh I think he's going to get fired because he doesn't like to give Derrick Henry the ball in the fourth quarter for some reason.
Yeah.
Fair.
Gosh,
What do you
dang,
mean
dude.
for some reason?
Oh,
I wouldn't give it to him either after he fumbled the game away in
Yeah.
week 1 of the Bills.
He just won or scored a 20-yard touchdown run, and then he never handed the ball off to him again against the
Yeah.
Patriots.
I
And
wouldn't
that's
do it
how-
either.
Yeah, that helped the Patriots come back.
No,
Yeah.
you get stripped by a linebacker and sell the game against the Bills week 1. You're not
Well,
getting the ball in
then-
the fourth quarter for me either.
Well, then they
rest
threw
of
the ball
season.
to Zay Flowers, and he fumbled the ball. So, and then
Yeah.
Mark Andrews decided to do a freaking toss back. So, I think the Ravens are sabotaging their season now that we think about it.
Yeah.
Derrick
Yeah.
Henry's fumbled the ball. Zay Flowers is fumbling the ball. Mark Andrews is throwing the ball back to nobody. Holy cow, man!
Yeah. What a,
Okay,
what a-
Shea Flowers still top 10.
yeah, that was a heck of a loss for the Ravens. I agree with you that for some reason they don't like to do what's going to get them the win now. Yeah, that's kind of funny. They have Green Bay as a 2.5-point favorite. I kind of was looking at the quarterback situation as well. And even if you go with the starters, I still kind of like the Packers. And then if you go with their backup quarterbacks, I like what Malik Willis can
Yeah.
do over what the Ravens
Huntley.
backup. Yeah,
Tyler Huntley.
yeah, Tyler Huntley can do. So yeah, I ended up going Packers, but neither team has really been impressing me much. Both teams have been letting teams back in it late, and not they both gave up huge fourth quarter letdowns last week and come back. So I ended up going Packers, but it's 28-27, and this could go either way.
I didn't really
Sure.
think about that. If Jordan Love doesn't play, the Packers are better off. And if Malik Willis is playing, then my spread goes to 34-22.
And you picked Packers too,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
Yeah.
Next game is Bucks Dolphins, and this is perfect time for the Dolphins to just keep lowering that draft capital and take a 31-27 win over the Bucks.
You like Dolphins?
I mean,
Okay.
Dolphins love to sell their draft capital, and the Bucks just like to kill themselves. So
Yeah, they actually Quinn Ewers and the Dolphins actually played pretty well that first half. I think was it tied going into halftime with the Bengals, and then I had a birthday party to go to for my took my kids to a birthday party, and then I looked at the end of the score and it was like 45-20 something. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So I think the Buccaneers are still playing for something. Like Gage said, the Dolphins aren't. The Dolphins need to kind of protect their draft capital. Buccaneers can still win the division to get in the playoffs, so I got them winning a close game, 20-17.
Okay. Yeah, this one was tough for me to choose. They have Tampa Bay as a 5.5 point favorite. I thought that was generous because it's Dolphins at home, and the Bucks have not played well. Their defense is in shambles. I know the Dolphins are too, but this was such a closer game to me to pick than that. And I did end up going with the Bucks just because I do feel like this would be kind of a good game for Bucky Irving if he's going to play. I don't remember if he got hurt or not, but he hasn't been running very well. I don't think they've been able to run the ball that great. But if they can get him and Rashad White going in this game, Dolphins are susceptible to the run. So I ended up going with them, but 33-31, and I could see the Dolphins win too. I almost picked them, but yeah, we're gonna go Bucks 33-31, just because they have something to play for.
cool. Next game is Patriots Jets. I mean, it's again Patriots are playing for seeding. Jets are playing for a high draft pick. I think it's going to be 27-13. And the only reason I have that close is probably 27-0 at halftime. Then you
Mhm.
pull Drake May.
It's funny. I had the same thinking, but I got the Patriots 37-17. But I don't think it's going to be. I think the 17 is going to come pretty late because Patriots are going to pull out of their starters.
I'm gonna sit some
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, they have New England as a 13.5 point favorite. Totally okay with that. The Jets look terrible against the Saints last week, and this Patriots team is better than the Saints, even though the Saints are playing really well. But yeah, I've got it 38-14 Patriots. About the same thing you guys said. So
So you guys just got the starters playing a little bit longer for the Patriots, and that's it. I mean,
I think they could possibly. I think they'll probably put up quite a few points before they ever sit, and then I think they'll probably still score after they sit, guys.
yeah.
To be honest with you. So
Next game, Steelers Browns. This plays into the talk we had about Kel's question. And give me the damn Cleveland Browns to win it 15-14.
I like that. These,
Mhm.
like I said, these freaking AFC North divisional games, man. The Browns can make it muddy for a lot of people. I still like their defense, but I think I still like the Steelers now that they're kind of in the driver's seat of that division. They just need to win this one and it's over with. So I see them coming out and playing well. So it's still going to be close. I got them winning 27-20 against the Browns.
okay. Yeah, this one was tough for me, Gage. I almost went with the Browns on this one too. They have Pittsburgh as a 3.5 point favorite. I don't think they're going to beat the spread, in my opinion. I think that the Browns will keep them way close, but then I think in the end it's probably going to be a field goal to win it, and I think it's going to be Steelers 20-17. But
Or
I agree with you. I think it's going to be ugly, and there is a chance that the Browns win it if they can get Rodgers rattled back there.
I
And
think
are able to stop this run and get him rattled. So
I think you get 3 sacks out of Miles Garrett.
Ooh.
One of them a strip sack, and they'll probably score on defense. That's the only way they're getting to 15, in my opinion, is a defensive touchdown. But I'm betting on it with
Yeah.
the pass rush they're going to have on slow
like
40-year-old
that.
Aaron Rodgers. So next game, Jags Colts. This one means a lot to both the teams. Jags could go up in seeding. Colts could not get eliminated from the playoffs entirely.
mm-hmm.
I really want to take the Colts here because I'm kind of a Colts fan since Andrew Luck, and I just like their colors and stuff. So I want to take them, but I just can't, man. The Jags are just such a heater right
Mhm.
now. They're 7 or 8 wins straight,
Mm-hmm.
and Jacoby Myers the dog, so they're gonna win it 30-28.
Ooh, I like that. I got this one close as well, and I don't know if I just kept it close because it's a divisional game late in the season. Jaguars, like I said, like you said, is just they're on a heater right now. They might be one of the hottest teams in the NFL, just how they're playing. And it's not just like they're squeaking out wins, man. They're blowing out pretty good teams. But I do have this one close as well. I got this one 23-20 Jaguars.
Okay, they have Jacksonville as a 6.5 point favorite, and I'm okay with that. I know that the Colts just did really well on offense against the Niners, but Niners defense isn't that great. Jaguars defense is much better.
It's a practice squad Niners defense.
Yeah, so I do think the Jaguars are going to pull this one out and 28-20. So I think they'll just barely beat the spread, but I give the Colts all their props and that coaching staff and everything with what they're doing with what they have. So I mean, you're on a 44-year-old quarterback. I don't know why they weren't able to run the ball against the Niners. I'd like to chalk it up for the Niners defense, but I honestly think that was more of a breakdown on the Colts than the Niners being able
Dude,
to do
it's
that.
just like I didn't watch the whole game. I don't know. I think I started watching about 8 minutes left in the third because I decided to go play basketball direct. But like the second I turned it on, Jonathan Taylor starts running. I'm like, if he just cuts left, he's probably got 15, 20 yards. But nope, he just runs right into Sam Okiwanamu. It's like, what are you doing, Jonathan? Are you going blind? Do you need glasses? Like,
Mhm.
So yeah, I think they just kind of didn't have a great game running. I think they'll be able to do it a little bit against the Jags, but still, I like the Jags in this one.
cool. Next game is Saints Titans, and actually prepping this, I wrote undecided because I was having a hard time with it. Both teams just came off great showings. Both rookie quarterbacks looking good. I think coming down to it, I'm gonna have to take the Titans in a close one, 31-30.
Yeah, this one was close to me as well. Both teams, I think, are Titans. Like I said, going back to the 49ers game, I thought they played pretty decent. I think they're just the Niners are playing that much better. And then the Saints are kind of on a heater right now with Tyler Shook. So both rookie quarterbacks are playing pretty well. So I got this one close, but I got the Saints squeaking it out just because I like their defensive front. Like you mentioned, their defensive line. I like
Yeah.
them quite a bit. So I got the Saints winning 28-24.
Okay, they got New Orleans as a 2.5 point favorite. I'm totally okay with this being a close spread. I totally get it. Both teams, like you said, Gage, are looking pretty good. They're playing decent coming down the stretch, and things are starting to happen for them. But I do like the Saints just to barely beat that spread. I'm going to go Saints 23-20.
It is crazy. A rookie QB matchup, and there's what a 5-year age gap there,
Yeah,
and it's a rookie QB matchup.
yeah. And one could
Wow.
be the other one's dad. No.
Next game is Seahawks Panthers. This one could be a really good one if we get the right Panthers team.
Yeah.
J.C. Horn. Well, the way Sam Darnold's going, J.C. Horn's probably going to have 3 picks. It's just whether Bryce Young can do anything with the ball. And I think he's going to do just enough, and I think Panthers can take it 35-34.
Oh, nice.
Well, I like
the
that.
upset.
Man, I had this one close as well. I even though that the Seahawks came back and won, they still kind of have been struggling offensively. I don't trust them to be able to run the ball. And the Panthers, man, their Panthers are playing. They played the Rams really well a couple weeks ago. They just have it kind of seems like the better the opponent, the better they play for some reason, and then lesser the opponent, the lesser they play. So this is a big opponent for them. But man, I got the Seahawks and their defense kind of squeaking it out 24-21 in like a last second game-winning field goal.
Yeah, they have Seattle as a 7.5 point favorite, which I mean, I guess I get by record wise and everything, but I don't know if they've, like you said, watched the Panthers play. They've kind of been giant killers. I do have them just barely under that spread, but I do think the reason why I have that is just kind of instead of a last minute field goal, I have a last minute touchdown for the Seahawks, and it might come on defense, but I do feel like they're going to be able to do it 27-20 in a really close game. But I almost went Panthers on this one as well.
Mhm.
It's fair enough. But this is like, especially if you like a wide receiver matchup, I think this is a really good game to watch because, I mean, the way both these guys are playing at this point in the season, JSN versus JC Horn is just a hell of a matchup.
It is, yeah. I like
It'll be
that.
a lot of fun. Lost my spot. There we are. Okay, Cardinals versus Bengals. Bengals defense, like you said in the second half, looked pretty good against the Dolphins. Was tied, and the next thing you know was 45 to whatever the hell. It just wasn't the game anymore. I think the Cardinals are going to be able to hit Trey McBride a lot. Maybe even 4 touchdowns for him. So I'm taking it as a high scoring shootout, 45-42 game
like
in the
that.
Bengals' favor.
Mine wasn't as high. I like the Bengals scoring some points, not as many points as you have. They might because they just put up 45. Bengals, Joe Burrow kind of looked like Joe Burrow, and he had T. Higgins back. Jamar Chase caught a lot of passes.
T. Higgins just catches everything,
Yeah.
man. I was just like, the second you said the name, I'm sitting there thinking it's like, he won like 4 jump balls.
He did, yep.
It's crazy.
So I like them being healthy on offense. So I got them winning 34-23.
Okay, they have Cincinnati as a 7 point favorite, which I guess I thought it'd be a little more. Cardinals, I mean, like you said, they have like one guy that they're pretty much, wearing down. I think he leads the league in receptions.
Pretty close,
Is
yeah.
Trey McBride. At least he did, I think, going into last week. Yeah. So, but even then, I like the Bengals 34-21. So not that far off from what Jared said the score. But yeah, the points are going to be there. So
Next game, Giants Raiders. Toilet bowl this week for sure.
Is this the pick for number one overall, or game for number one overall pick?
I think so. Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
both 2 and they've only both won 2 games, right?
think
I
Man.
believe so. Yeah. I think both teams either way. The Raiders might draft a quarterback, but you might be looking at a trade no matter who wins this
Yeah.
one. But I'm taking the Raiders in it. I just don't. I mean, Jackson Dart, man. It's like he's at the 2 situation. It's really bad because he's still in his
Mhm.
rookie year, but he's just too many concussions. Man.
Right.
He can't play football anymore. So taking the Raiders 28-21.
I got this one close too. I like the Raiders coming away. I don't know. They're less inconsistent as the Giants. The Giants, for like right there in the middle of the season, were still playing pretty well. But these last couple weeks, I think Jackson Dart ended up with less than 70 yards passing this last game or something.
He had 2 in the first half.
Was that what it was?
2
Yeah.
yards in the first half.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't like the trajectory of the Giants. I think they're going to probably have the number one overall pick. So I got the Raiders winning 26-24.
Okay. Yeah, they have Raiders actually favorited in a game, and they're only by 1.5, but they are favorite here, and I like that. I think that this is going to be an ugly game, but I do think the Raiders are going to be able to pull it out, and it's going to be 20-14.
Cool. Next game, Bills Eagles. This might be the funnest game to watch this week. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be electric. I think it's gonna be a lot of scoring, and it's actually gonna have implications. I think it's gonna be a lot like the Cardinals Bengals, just actually matter. So I got the Bills taking it, but I got taking it 36-35 with a just the Josh Allen Superman
I like that, yeah.
game-winning drive.
Man, this you don't see this late in the season of 2 like top tier like AFC, NFC like matchup. So this was like Gage said, this one's going to be fun. Man, the way the Eagles are able to run the ball the last couple of weeks gave me a huge positive pick in the Bills in this game because their Bills still have one of the worst run defenses. Junkins went down early, or not early, but went down last week, and the Browns were able to still run for 160 yards against them,
Yep.
which, I mean, Dylan Sampson and probably somebody else must have had most of those yards. So, man, I think Saquon's going to get his yards in this game, and I think they're going to kind of control it, but it's going to be tight. I got the Eagles winning on a last-second field goal, 27-26.
Okay, they have Buffalo as a 1.5-point favorite. I'm okay with it being a close game. I went back and forth on this one as well. This was so tough, and I ended up going the same route you did, Jared, just because of the run game. Same thing. I wanted to pick the Bills, but man, they are just inconsistent, like we talked about a little bit, and they let the Browns, stick around and do what they need to do. And I got it on a last-minute field goal as well. Eagles 31-28.
Yeah, I see what you guys are looking at, but the Eagles don't have a Carson Schwarzenegger, so I think Josh Allen might just outrun Saquon himself.
Yeah,
Like,
they're gonna need that.
Yeah,
I really think
too.
so. I think the coverage is gonna be there.
oh
For
yeah,
the-
for
for the
sure,
passing
man.
game,
Those
so.
corners are crazy.
Mhm.
With
Yeah.
Quinn and Cooper.
But yeah, I mean, I like how you said that he's gonna have to put on his cape because that's the
Mhm.
only way they're gonna win. So
Yep. Bears Niners. This could be a really fun one too.
not just because it's the Niners. I think should be game of the week. It has a lot. I mean, this first place divisional, or conference, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
if
So
the
this
Niners
is a
win,
huge game.
It cinches the NFC West first seed.
Yep.
I mean, unless of course the Seahawks and Niners. The Seahawks lose this week and the Niners lose, and the Seahawks win week 18. I think you could still see a Bears
Yeah.
first seed then.
Yeah, both these teams could still get the
Mhm.
first overall. So
Yeah. But I think it's going to be a blowout, 35-17. But I could be very wrong. I'm just banking on the fact that Caleb kind of sucks.
So you think Niners blowout?
Niners 35-17.
I didn't. So this was the one game I did not have a score just because George Kittle's injury towards the end of the game was an ankle injury, and I don't know. They haven't said anything about it. I still haven't. I was just kind of looking it up. He's questionable. I mean, they haven't really said anything, but if George Kittle doesn't play, I think it's going to be a lot closer than it needs to be. If George Kittle plays, I think it's going to be almost like a blowout. I think the Niners can score some points on this defense. But man, I'm going to go with if the George Kittle doesn't play, because I think it's more important. This game isn't as important as it is probably the playoffs are, and since they're already in the playoffs. So I got the Niners winning 23-22 in a close game with
Wow.
George Kittle not playing.
Fair enough.
Because the Bears only play in
I
close
think
games.
Kittle will play because I know I've watched that route like 6 times, just seeing what the hell could have possibly hurt his ankle on it and just planted too hard. So I think it was like an old man injury. Just shit, I'm too old for this.
I hope he does, because if
So,
he
good,
if he
good.
plays, he just unlocks. You could tell even when he didn't, like, took himself out of the game a couple times when they tried to run the ball with McCaffrey. It was like -1 yarder at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And then when like Juszczyk and Kittle are in the game, that's when McCaffrey sprung a lot of those runs. So
Yep.
it's going to be, I think, bigger in the run game than it is the passing game. So if he plays, it's going to be huge, I think.
Yeah, because holy hell, Jake Tonges made a hell of a touchdown grab that they didn't call touchdown grab,
Yep.
and it looked like Justin Jefferson with a toe tap.
That
It
was crazy.
That was, yep.
Yep. I like that one. So they have Niners as a 3-point favorite, which I guess I understand that. They're both coming in, same records. Bears been able to pull some shit off, but I kind of feel like the Niners are just looking better on offense. So I think this is going to be the highest scoring game. I don't, both these defenses are going to give up points. I don't think the Niners are going to turn the ball over like a lot of teams do against the Bears. So I like the Niners 45-35,
Oh,
a
wow.
really high
Yeah,
scoring game. So
I guess that's less than they scored last week, but could be. Okay, I got the exact same score for the last game. It's Rams Falcons, and I'm taking the Rams 35-17.
Yeah, I think the Rams might be, I don't know, pissed off or whatever you want to call it after what happened last week. They probably could have shored up the number one overall last week, and then they ended up losing. So I got the Rams winning big too. I got them winning actually like 41-17.
Nice.
Hopefully Puka doesn't catch another 12 passes for 225 yards.
Right. Yeah, because that was a crazy game he had. So they got LA by 8.5. I'm okay with that. I have them winning by just a little bit more than that. But the only thing that I didn't give them a crazy, I guess, high score, I still think they're going to win decidedly, was just because the Falcons' pass defense is still there. They're still able to get to the quarterback. I think they're tied for second for sacks in the league. So I don't think Stafford's that mobile. And they haven't been able to run the ball that well with the Rams. So I think the Falcons won't exactly keep it close, but we're going to go Rams 27-17. I still think it'll be a 10-point win, and some of the Falcons' points will come in garbage time a little bit, but they're going to be able to hold them back a little bit more. So
Maybe a Kyle Pitts 2-touchdown game would be nice.
Ooh,
yeah,
nice
heck
for you.
yeah, heck yeah. He's been showing up the last couple of
Mhm.
weeks for me. All right, man. That concludes our picks for the weeks, and that is at the end of the show. Remember that when you're if you're gonna play on Facebook, remember to get on there. I'll have the picks up here in just a little bit. Make sure that you put in your final game. That is the Rams Falcons game, and yeah, it'll be $25. And then just remember that you got to listen to the podcast, and then get a hold of us to let us know that you heard. See if you won or not. But yeah, we appreciate you listening. Merry Christmas, and yeah, have a good one.